to do. I could kid myself that I was obviously born to play rock and roll and be an enormous star. No, I dreamt of that. That's not the same thing as knowing, is it? Do we call that destiny? Now that she's gone out of my life. What do we call it? I call it love.
This is rock and roll. This is okay. All right. So
don't be nervous about anything.
No. Now that she's gone out of my sight.
The Rolling Stones have been waiting for you.
Great to see you. How you doing?
Hey, thanks.
Hey, Clinton. I'm bushed.
Whose voice is gonna say goodnight?
I think everyone creates a character for themselves to a certain extent. I don't know whether Keith created a character of himself which is real or not real. Keith's got a reputation as a hellraiser, so I think he was very worried at one point if he was no longer going to be a hellraiser, he's not that character anymore. Who are you then?
I'm evolving. And now that my effort is overdue.
Few lives in rock and roll are as legendary or as unapologetically lived as that of Keith Richards.
Every guy I've ever met in my life wants to be Keith Richards.
Richards has spent over 6 decades defining what it means to be in a rock band, surviving fame, addiction, tragedy, and time itself.
It's really the skin of the teeth. First off, that it happens to you, then you've got to survive it because you don't know what you're in for when you start this thing. I still don't. It's any surprises.
He is definitely the archetypal bad boy rock guitarist personified, and he's the model that all of us rebellious rock guitar players follow from.
Well, Joe, is mine to go around wondering what other people's perceptions are. I have enough dealing with my own. I can only imagine what delusions other people labor under.
Rock and roll has to have an element of danger and an element of unpredictability. And when you look at Keith Richards, he embodies every element that you want in your rock and roll star.
His life isn't just a story of music. It's the living, breathing embodiment of rock and roll.
Keith is all about living your life with no one telling you how to be. It's following who you are fearlessly.
He is the epitome of a rock guitarist. The original, the one and only, it's Keith Richards.
There we go. Story so far.
Keith's talent drives the band's success, but he's a reluctant star struggling to handle the adoration and fame that engulfs the band.
I quite happy to make all these records totally anonymously. But then, of course, I mean, that's not possible. You know, I mean, hey, you've got to get out there and put yourself out. And I learned how to do that, and I quite enjoyed it.
As his star rises, keeping up with Keith in the 1970s becomes a deadly game, and his addiction to heroin ultimately threatens the future of the band.
But I guess my refuge was heroin, was drugs. And there I stayed as long as I could.
I mean, the thing is, most people are kind of shy and awkward, and they wouldn't have got on a stage if they weren't loaded. So it works in your favor in the initial years. But when it starts working against you, and you get addicted to the drugs because they're addictive, then you have a problem.
Everybody's got a different metabolism, a different way of dealing with that amount of adoration. I just felt that as long as I kept myself to myself, that, there was no reason for them to make any big fuss about it. I think the reason I was taking it was how to deal with fame and pressure. And it's one way to run away.
Keith's transformation confirms him as an international icon of rebellion and a target for the authorities. Late in the winter of '77, Richards is in Toronto, where the Rolling Stones are set to perform.
We went to Toronto to do this concert. I remember when the police were walking up the staircase and wondering what that was all about.
The day before, Keith's girlfriend, Anita Pallenberg, arrives at Toronto Airport, and as the Canadian police search her belongings, they find her in possession of hashish. An investigation begins that leads the police all the way to Keith's hotel room.
Of course, he was found with drugs and heroin and all that kind of stuff because he had a habit at the time. And the history of the Rolling Stones changed on a dime. It was actually terrifying because he realized he was up for, could be 20 years of prison.
Richards's life in the 1970s became as notorious as his music. His heroin addiction and multiple run-ins with the law became tabloid fodder.
It was the realization in Canada that I was actually jeopardizing the band. And if they were going to put me away, it was bye-bye,
How do you think this conviction is going to affect you and your music and the Rolling Stones?
I don't know. I just want to get on with it now that it's over. I just get on with what I'm supposed to be doing instead of worrying about this,
Are you think it will have any effect, though?
I don't know. I might get a song out of it.
Yet, even at his lowest, Richards continued to perform, write, and record.
If I get out of this and don't have to cold turkey in jail, I'm going to go and clean up.
He just made a commitment. I'm going to get this together because at that point, it was music or drugs. And music was far more important than drugs.
Despite brushes with death and numerous arrests, Richards remained undeterred. He often joked about his seemingly indestructible nature, embracing his role as rock's ultimate survivor. Behind the swagger and scandal was a man deeply committed to his craft and to the band he helped create.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but there again, it's a personal choice. I don't know, and it's a rough old world, and sometimes you need something to blank it out. And it probably ain't worth a ride.
Keith Richards' life as a Rolling Stone isn't defined by one moment, one song, or one scandal. It's a continuous rhythm, a refusal to stop, a devotion to the music above all else.
Music is a resilient thing. And sometimes I think, God, it's the only thing we've got that we can trust.
The music comes first. Writing, recording, performing music. That's where they're at.
He has become an icon, not through reinvention, but through unwavering authenticity.
Really, all you wanted to do was play music, trying to get it better, trying to get the band tighter.
He didn't just help form the Rolling Stones. He became what they stand for: rebellion, rhythm, soul, survival, and truth.
The idea of turning people on for 60 years is like, whoa. But the thing is relentless. It's like being a juggernaut.
It's not drugs, fashion, or lifestyle choices that will define Keith's story. It's his talent that marks him out as one of the most important and influential artists of our age.
Okay, eyes right to me, everybody. Very good.
Well, make sure that comes out.
This is one of my birthday presents I get to open for the Rolling Stones. This wonderful night. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Everyone, let's get ready to go.
Set list.
Okay.
Keith Richards isn't just a member of the Rolling Stones, he is the Rolling Stones.
It was that sound of the guitar. And the sound of that guitar was the creation, I would say, of the Rolling Stones.
And as long as there's a riff to play and a crowd to move, he'll keep rolling because that's the only life he's ever known.
When they finally step off the stage for the last time, we will all know that we shall never see anything like that ever again.
I'm not getting old, I'm evolving.